welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad and the Odd with your host Mike and Sam. Today we are talking about Wonder Woman and the latest movie, the very recent movie.
The first Wonder Woman movie.
Apparently there's one from the 70s edited out from the TV series.
Oh, well, that doesn't count.
Yeah,
that's like saying there's like
saying.
8 Planet of the Apes films.
Yeah, that's true. But have you ever actually seen any of the original Wonder Woman?
I've seen a chunk of it.
It's pretty good.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad. It's like on the same, not quite on the same level as the Incredible Hulk TV series, but not bad at all.
It's kind of like not as. It's like Adam West Batman if they took it a bit more serious.
Yeah. The villains are that kind of villains. Yeah. I think they're also lucky finding Linda Carter because she makes a pretty good Wonder Woman.
She's still doing pretty good for herself.
Yeah. She
wrote a bunch of music for Fallout.
Wow, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, she's also in
quite a talented woman. She used to sing in as well, I think, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I remember from her appearance on The Muppets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she sings on The Muppets, doesn't she? Yeah, all right, then, I'll tell you what. Let's pull up the comfy chair after this.
Are you tired of film podcasts where the hosts exist in a constant, blissful state of agreement?
I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
Well, you're in luck. Let me introduce you to Chinstroker and Punter. One is an ex-film student with a penchant for David Lynch and art cinema. The other is a man on the street. Listen in perplexed and horrified terror as we tear apart one film a week.
It just really
It's not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just that's the third time, though. I mean, is this on?
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com. So come and share the victory.
If you could fuck any man in film, who would it be and why?
My answer is Lance Henriksen.
Oh!
He wouldn't tell. He looks like somebody... he looks like somebody who can keep a secret.
Get the comfy chair!
Okay, so I've got four movies, actually, just movies.
I've actually got 4 shows, TV shows. Well, not TV, some of them are internet broadcast, but some of them
all right, do you want to start to this one?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so the first one is Archer Dreamland. Continuation of Archer, the spy show.
So this is a series?
Yeah.
Never heard of it. Okay. I know Archer, obviously.
It's the 8th series of Archer.
Oh, they just give it a name.
They've given them some of the series. Well, 2 of them now have subtitles.
Right.
So a while ago it was Archer Vice, and that was. Oh, they like lost ISIS first.
Yeah.
Well, they lost ISIS because ISIS became a thing.
Because ISIS, yeah.
Yeah, but they ended up getting like raided by the FBI because I think it was Mallory didn't actually have a license to do espionage.
Oh wow!
So she'd basically been performing treason.
Wow.
And they ended up somehow with a ton of cocaine.
Nice. And they became drug dealers, did they?
Yeah, they became drug dealers.
Wow.
So it was Archer Vice.
Archer would be good at that. Yeah, I could say.
Yeah,
that.
This one at the end of last series, Archer got shot like quite a few times.
Yeah,
and he fell into a coma.
Okay.
And this is kind of him and also kind of the writers of the show dealing with the passing of Woodhouse / George Coe, who voiced Woodhouse and died, unfortunately.
I didn't know
between
that.
series.
Oh wow!
So it's Archer in like a 1950s noir setting as he has like a coma dream.
Okay.
All of the characters are there. So like Mallory is like a gang lord who's only known as Mother. So Archer still calls her Mother. Lana's a lounge singer, and she's also like a treasury agent.
Yeah.
They keep making jokes calling her a T-Man.
T-Man, right? Okay.
Yeah. And like people are like, oh well, if you're into that sort of thing, I mean.
Okay.
Like all sorts of insane stuff like that, but it's Archer noir pretty much, and it's really kind of cool because it's interesting to see the characters transposed into that sort of environment, and it's just a really funny series already. So
Yeah, it's a cool series. Yeah.
because Dr. Krieger's still in it, and this time he is an actual Nazi. So
Okay. That sounds about right?
in the original show, he's implied to be a clone of Hitler and raised by
Wow.
Nazis. And in this, he's just straight up a former Nazi scientist who made robot dogs,
Nice.
proper Wolfenstein stuff. So
All right.
it's really cool. So
Yeah, that sounds good. So on Netflix, is it, or catch it somewhere else?
most of the show's on Netflix. I watched it through various stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fairly easy to find if you sort of have a rough idea of what you know.
Okay, I need to watch all the Archers first, really. I'm kind of working
I
through
think
that.
pretty much all of them are on UK Netflix, so you
Okay.
have to go messing about with that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. There's plenty on UK Netflix. Okay, I watched a movie called The Guest, which I think I've talked about before because this is my second watch of it. Maybe I didn't know. 2014. Dan Stevens, who was in Beauty and the Beast, and he's in a few other things. He's very good. I think he started life in Downton Abbey, but I never watched Downton Abbey, so I couldn't tell you who he was. But he's a British actor, but he does quite a decent American accent, and this is an American. This is one of those movies that are child of John Carpenter kind of things. It's very influenced by Carpenter. Really cool synth music. The vibe's kind of an 80s action film. It's got a kind of a bit of a Terminator feel, but not quite the same. It's very solid action for this. Very fun. He basically goes to this family and kind of says that he knew their son and they were in the army together. Their son's been killed and they're a grieving family. Certainly the mother is very still cut up about her son dying, and the father's kind of bothered but handling it in his own way. And this guy turns up and says, "I promised your son I'd come just say hi."
I remember you talking about this. This wasn't that too long ago.
No, it's great. He's very good. I just fancy watching it again. I was just in the mood to watch it again. So I got it on Love Film, as a rental. I watched Blu-ray. I think I'm going to buy it at some point because I think it bears rewatching. The music's really cool as well. It's kind of 80s synth, but up to date synth, It's a tech noir, I'd say. It's a tech noir, an up to date tech noir. The way that Terminator was the first tech noir. The ending does not quite work for me, but I really haven't got that many complaints. And it's, I think it's a 4 out of 5. I really enjoy it. He's brutal, this guy as well. When people bother him, he's properly mad, properly destructive, and it's super violent when people annoy him. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, back to you.
Okay, now another show I've been watching is Red vs. Blue, which is an online show. You can find it on YouTube.
Isn't it on Netflix as well?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
The early
as well.
seasons, yeah.
No, pretty much all of them except the one that's coming out now are on Netflix.
Okay.
So it's pretty popular. So it's about these space marines stuck in a box canyon because the enemy of whatever army they're serving set up a base, so they had to set up a base.
Right.
So they're stuck in a box canyon doing nothing, and it's basically these. At the start, it was these idiots trying to find some form of entertainment on the really boring landscape and stuff that they have to do.
Yeah.
And then it evolved into surreal comedy and lots of action involved, as well as some amazing animation from Monty O.
Sounds cool.
Which is... seriously, look up Monty Ohm. He passed away a couple of years ago, but he was an amazing animator.
Right, I will too. What else is he animated, or is it this series?
It's
mainly?
Ruby, which I have talked about in the past.
I know Ruby, yeah. I've seen Ruby. Well, I've seen one episode maybe, but yeah, it was pretty good.
And he did a load of fan stuff. Hang on a sec. He was one of the wasn't an animator on it, but he was one of the designers on Afro Samurai, the video game. Sorry, that sounded like I was leading it on, but it was just popped up in his like filmography, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Clicked on it. It's
the video game's pretty good. Actually, it's really not well animated. It looks like it looks nice. It's good to the eye as a video game. Yes, I like it. It's got that. It's a stylized form, a bit like say Borderlands is a stylized form.
Yeah,
rather than trying to be like realistic or near realistic.
Red vs. Blue has actually won like quite a lot of awards.
Okay, what is it? Kind of comedy?
It's pretty much all comedy, but there's like moments where it just breaks out in this insane, fast-paced, proper like wire fu action.
Oh, so action, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
It's really fun.
Okay. My next one's an animation, actually. It's Batman, Return of the Caped Crusaders. Right, so came out last year. They got Adam West and Burt Ward back, and Julie Newmar.
That's great.
To do this, like, goofy retrospective of 60s Batman. So he's dealing with Catwoman, the Joker, the Riddler, and the Penguin. The core four from the 60s Batman in the same vein, and it's properly nuts. Robin's doing his holy whatever.
Yeah.
And at one point, they work out. Batman says, "We can't find them anywhere in the city in Gotham. Do you know what this means, Robin?" And Robin's going, "No." He goes, "They can't be anywhere on Earth." So they must be in the space station. They don't verify this. They just go to the Bat Rocket, right?
That is as bad as this took place at sea.
It's
C for Catwoman.
Yeah, it's properly like that. But the thing is, there's a couple of nods to both the series and some of the modern films.
Oh, God.
And in fact, some of the comic books. And I can't remember all of them, but there was definitely a few. But there was one bit that made me laugh. Batman gets a whack and he starts seeing threes of things. And he's looking at the Catwoman and she breaks into the three women it's basically the three different Catwomen in the TV series. Eartha Kitt as well, and Julie Newmar and Lee Merriweather. And he says, "I can see three of you" at one point. And there's another point where the Joker's annoying him, and he actually goes, "You want to get crazy? Let's get crazy." And all of this. Because Batman kind of goes bad. It's kind of like that. I'm not going to reveal the whole story or anything like that. But it wasn't great. You could tell it was an 80-year-old man, and Julie Newmar must be 75 odd.
Yeah.
You could tell they were old. That kind of. But I'll tell you what, Burt Ward sounded exactly the same. Unbelievable. And obviously they had to get different voice actors for Cesar Romero and Frank Gorshin and the Penguin. Oh man, that's so annoying. I've forgotten his name. He's such a good actor as well.
Yeah.
That's annoying. So they're all in it. And there's also this other thing where Aunt Harriet's being nosy, and they go, and they get a back call and they have to go, and they say, "Oh, come on, Aunt Harriet, we're going on a fishing trip." And she goes, "Fishing trip." Like that. And she starts dropping in. It's like, "Your secret's safe with me." And I go, "What secret?" He goes, "Oh, you know." So basically, she keeps thinking they're going on gay dates. Yeah, you should try and see it. Try and watch it.
Yeah, I need to watch this. Yeah. It's like looking, even just on the Wikipedia page, like I'm looking at like the background details is really kind of interesting. Apparently, there's going to be a sequel released sometime this year, with the villain Two-Face, voiced by William Shatner.
Oh my god! The thing is, Two-Face was never in the TV series.
Yeah,
because Two-Face was the 70s villain, I think. But they could have done King Tut or Egghead or Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter was believe it or not, was in the 60s, which is really weird when you think about how dark the actual Mad Hatter is.
Apparently Warner Brothers are considering making a similar sort of thing, but with Wonder Woman and Linda Carter.
That would work, yeah.
She's still got a good voice. So.
Yeah. So yes, I think I've made it sound a bit better than it is because it's got a few bits. And the weird thing is they use the weirdest words in the fight scenes. You know, it's usually kapow and zowie and all this. They use odd words like kalampa, and it's just nonsense words.
Yeah.
It's just really. Oh, there's one point. I think they actually do a reference where they say, "He hit me so hard I could see words." One of the villains says, and stuff like that. It's all this goofy stuff. But yeah, you just got to remember that Adam West does come across like a really old guy doing his lines, and Julian Newmar, an old lady. So there is a bit of that. But I can't believe Burt Wall does sound exactly the same. It's so weird. Anyway, back to you.
Adam West is like down to do anything, really.
He's good as well. He's great.
He's reached a point where he just doesn't really care.
He's got the Shatner vibe, right? He's funny anyway. He's in Family Guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in Family Guy. He shows up a few times in like SpongeBob SquarePants for a while.
And he's got that voice. Anyway, back to you.
Okay, now the next thing I've been watching is another show by Rooster Teeth, actually. Santa Ray vs. Blue. It's called Camp Camp. Right. And it's this weird kind of South Parky sort of show.
Right.
About these kids that are stuck at this really awful summer camp. So, basically, imagine Addams Family Values, but some of the South Park kids are there.
Okay.
It plays out a lot like that. They've got the super over-enthusiastic...
It sounds like the sort of thing I'd like, actually.
It's really great. They've just premiered their second series opening, and the skit about this one is the camp counselors are trying to find another person to like help them, and they accidentally hire a cult leader.
Nice.
And they go whole hog with this thing. Where it's like, maybe you need to get rid of the negative energy that was made from the Big Bang in the interstellar war with Zimugu. And,
wow.
And there's like a purification chamber. There's like a weird, like I can't even call it a joke because it's almost never brought up. But one of the kids is basically Hitler. He's called Dolph, and he has like he's got like Hitler's haircut.
Wow.
And he talks with a German accent.
That's so weird.
There's this bit where he introduces them to the like persuasion chamber, and they're walking up, and this Jewish kid next to him goes, "I just want to point out how fucked up this whole thing is, especially with you doing this to me."
Oh wow, wow, that sounds mad. So good fun, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend watching it.
Okay, that's cool. My next one is actually, this was a Mystery Science Theatre, the new series one, but I have been meaning to watch this film again for a while because I actually went to see this film at the cinema when it came out in 1975. The Land That Time Forgot with Doug McClure. Which is a kind of, it's almost like a
from such films as
it's a bit like The Lost World, Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World. Basically, there's these guys in the Germans are fighting the British, and they got a U-boat. I think it's World War II, but it might be World War One. It's not really clear.
If there's a U-boat, then it's World War II.
Yeah, you're quite right. And there's American involved who's like considered neutral. So this is before the Americans joined the war, I guess. And it's Doug McClure. And the Brits managed to overcome the Germans and force them to go a certain route, but they realised that they've bizarrely hit fresh water in the middle of the sea, and it's warm, even though it's an Arctic Ocean. And they realise it's coming from this sort of cave in a glacier, so they actually go in and they find themselves in like this. Well, it turns out it's a massive volcano crater that's heated, and basically there's dinosaurs, big rubber dinosaurs, right? It's kind of fun. I kind of like the rubber dinosaurs. There's pterodactyls flying around, even though they're on wires. They put a lot of effort into making full-size dinosaurs in this. I mean, there was a bit of rear projection and stuff, but there was also.
And there was a bit of giant lizards with stuff stuck on them.
No, not in this one. Wait,
am I thinking of the sequel?
You could be, but in this one they were all rubber monsters. So it was It was kind of fun. It was goofy. There was a cave. There was cavemen types in it.
Yeah.
And I think it starts with someone finding like a message in a bottle, kind of like a canister thing.
That's the framing device.
Yeah, that's the framing device. And it's kind of goes on and on. It's not great. The acting's not great. Doug McKill's kind of
It's the
fun.
exact type of schlock that I like. So
Yeah, I do like this
I
one.
really enjoyed it.
And another one called Warlords of Atlantis, which it's also on the Mystery Science Theatre, but it's one I like. It's one with Peter Cushing.
Is it?
And it's one where these things are trying to use his psychic powers.
The old Mystery Science Theatre.
No, it's in the new. It's the very last episode of the new series, Warlords of Atlantis. But I haven't got to it yet. But I do remember there's a bit in that, which I haven't rewatched yet, where these things are trying to psychically control people. And I think there's a line where Peter Cushing goes, "You can't hypnotise me. I'm British." Something like that. So these like weird bird lizard things. This was fun. And I was quite impressed because the actors were like acting in this not on set, probably actually outside, on location. But they were obviously having real flaming logs and things thrown around them as they were acting. It looked really dangerous, actually. So I was kind of impressed with that. Anyway, back to you.
Okay, now this last one I watched for reasons other than entertainment. There's been kind of a thing going on the internet about the reboot of Powerpuff Girls.
Okay, I didn't know it was reboot. Did you mention it some other time? Because I
might have,
wasn't aware of it, but then
it's basically everyone just sort of like saw it wasn't very good and ignored it.
Okay,
and then some people went back and watched it, and there was like some weird connections sort of going on about one of the writers.
Okay.
I'm not going to name him, but if you know what I'm talking about, you'll know who it is. Okay, so
I have no idea, but yeah, but
one of the writers wrote in like a sort of love interest for one of the girls.
Okay.
Which is already kind of because they're in like reception or kindergarten.
Yeah. As long as the love interest is in kindergarten, that's fine.
He's a middle schooler.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah,
well, okay.
Okay. Huh.
Okay.
Oh, this gets worse.
Oh man, do I want to know this?
Voices the character himself.
Yeah.
This character only appears in episodes he writes.
Yeah.
And the Blossom, the one he's like focused on, is weirdly obsessed with this character.
Okay.
And then it gets worse because you can read into it, and then it's like, well, this guy also wrote a weird episode where they twerk.
Okay.
Footage of him talking about the new series at Comic-Con, and when he starts talking about Blossom, he starts stuttering really bad and getting really sweaty. It's like, I feel really scared.
Yeah, I feel a bit bad. I can see this. This sounds like an internet witch hunt to me already. Yeah.
It's really creepy, especially because they keep, from what I've seen, they keep putting in scenes that are alluding to like Phantom of the Opera, big romantic stuff, like Phantom of the Opera, and like, it's really like.
It could still be a joke, right? Though.
Yeah, it could still be a joke. But the guy's gone completely radio silent.
Well, as soon as it's probably been witch hunted by the internet.
Yeah. Like, even to the point where he just said, yeah, that's wrong. It's like, it's coincidence.
Yeah.
But then it's like, this is really sketchy. Especially, because, like, from what I remember, he was like a big factor in, like, denouncing a lot of stuff from the old series because it was deemed sexist.
Okay.
Sort of stuff. Like the mayor's secretary.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember her name, but it was a pun.
Miss something.
She was like, she had like a Jessica Rabbit sort of figure.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that's sexist. But having these like 6-year-olds twerk, that's fine.
Yeah, that's weird.
I watched the episodes, it's like, it's really sort of. Okay, this may be going a bit far, but I remember, like, years and years ago, back when I was like 7 or something.
Yeah.
You showed me Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
And it was Savile.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just being really creepy and unnerving and being himself, really. And I was thinking, it's like...
This is before all the Savile stuff came out, let's be clear, right?
Yeah, it's like, I don't like this
I wouldn't have
guy.
shown you that if you were 7 if all that stuff come out.
No, this is like way before then. It was just like, it's him going, now then, it's all sorts of like stuff like that. It's just like, I don't like this guy.
No.
It's like, you're really sort of laying it on a bit. But yeah, if you like, I'd almost suggest giving it a read and like watching the episodes, because it's like really kind of interesting how, if it is a coincidence, it's a really like the stars of a line sort of coincidence. But
I don't want to get involved in any internet witch hunt, to be honest.
you don't even need to get involved in it. It's like come and go on several websites. Like, it's not actually a thing.
Yeah.
Because this person, inside source. It's like that makes it even more suspicious, because like websites are going, it's like not a thing because our inside source says this, but they don't cite their source.
You don't, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, all right, okay. Shall I go on to mine now?
You go to yours. We need something to lighten the mood from that.
Okay, and this was another one on Mystery Science Theater. It was the next one on the list. The Loves of Hercules, right? This was a bad one. The actual Mystery Science Theater version of it was fine, but man, was it a terrible film. It was like, I think it was made in 1960, and it's got an actress who was kind of famous for being like grade B or grade C level Marilyn Monroe type.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She was famous for being like this statuesque blonde woman, and statuesque doesn't. She makes Marilyn Monroe look flat-chested and not very curvy.
Good lord!
I know she's quite the woman.
Whoa!
Yeah, she's. One of the things interesting watching it really was seeing how her dresses were constructed to support everything. Because it's like, man, that's a major cantilevering going on, to try and. I mean, it was a respectable film. Let's be clear, it was a respectable film. But her husband was Hercules in this, and he had this weird Italian accent, which it's Hercules. Shouldn't it be Greek for a start? At one point,
if it's called Hercules, then Italian is probably better.
Yeah, he does fight a big three-headed rubber dragon that's supposed to be the Hydra. Say again?
Yeah, I just googled this woman. Like in the first row, there's a picture of some other female celebrity, sort of like giving her eyes.
There's a famous picture with Sophia Loren looking at her cleavage, like what? Kind of like that. It's a very, very famous picture. That is. In fact, they recreated in Modern Family.
Yeah.
They recreated that picture in one shot of Modern Family. It's hilarious. Where what's her name? Jay and Sofia Vergara, and the sort of the.
I just found it. Yeah,
very, very funny that was. Anyway, so Jane Mansell's in it. Her husband's in it. It's not much happens. It's supposed to be plot, Some bloke kills Hercules' wife at the beginning, and then we don't even mention the wife again, for example. And Hercules kind of falls in love with this woman, who's Jane Mansell. He does fight a big rubber dragon with 3 heads in the worst fight you've ever seen. It was terrible. And then he gets rescued by the Amazons. Which is a weird tie into one of them. And they got these weird hats with like wings on there. You have to watch it really. But at one point it did make me laugh. He has to fight this big monster thing that is nothing out of Greek mythology at all. It looked just like a naked version of Oddbod from Carry On Screaming. So there was that. So, I'll give this film...
I just had a picture. It looks like one of the...
Gargantuous.
The Gargantuous.
It does look like that too, but normal size, right?
See, this is kind of weird, because there is like a famous episode of Mystery Science Theater where they do like something of Hercules film.
Well, maybe
or something like that.
There are
because Gypsy gets involved. She like sits in for a good chunk of it.
There was loads of Hercules films. These Italian swords and sandals were very popular in Italy, so they made quite a lot of them, and some of them made their way over, to America and that overseas. There's a quite good one called 300 Spartans, in fact. It's kind of cool. Not a bad version of it. This was bad. 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5. But the Mystery Science Theatre one was pretty fun. That was a fun version of it. But man, standing alone, it was a dull film. It was dull. Right, is that it? Have we done our conference?
Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, let's move on to the main subject tonight, Wonder Woman.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it. Get on with it.
Okay, so this has been in development hell for years, apparently.
Yeah.
Years and years.
I do remember, maybe 10 years ago, there was, pictures of someone dressed up as Wonder Woman during, an early filming, almost. It got that far.
Oh, wow. This one, we have seen this Wonder Woman before in Batman vs. Superman, haven't we?
Fortunately.
Very short. She was probably one of the most interesting bits out of it, actually. I really quite like the Wonder Woman, the little bit we see of her.
She introduced, an actual sort of element of intrigue to this.
Yeah, and fun.
Yeah.
She was her blood was up in that battle.
Yeah.
She was digging it.
She was basically a football yobbo through that.
Yeah, she was a warrior, right?
Yeah. Full on, right.
Interesting that this film's set in World War One. I think that's a good choice, actually. It's and it kind of makes sense because if you think about it, that would be the first major battle in the. It's a World War One.
The Mediterranean, really.
It encompassed the world, in fact.
Wow.
So it starts off with her as a little girl on this island of Themyscira.
Yeah.
And she wants to train to be a warrior, but her mother won't let her, and all this, that, and the other. And the story develops. So we'll go through the story as we go. Right, so there's going to be spoilers on this one, right? Yeah. So let's give our rough opinion before we start spoiling. Then, if anyone hasn't seen it, they can tune out if they wish. So, what's your general feeling about this one?
I liked it, but I'm not sure if I liked it because it's good or because it's finally a good DC Universe film.
I kind of take your point. I actually think I'm having trouble remembering bits of it already, which is not a good sign.
Yeah.
However, while I was watching it, I really dug it. And it felt like it was a proper, decent film for a change, not just a miserable, I hate myself.
Yeah. It was optimistic, finally.
Yes. I think this take on Wonder Woman was very good. The only thing I also, one of the problems I had with it is some of the scenes which were character development could have been better written and tighter. They were a bit too long and added to the length of the film, but because they were written not that great, they had to be long to get what they were trying to do in them. You know, a tighter writing would have been better, but I don't think you could just take the film and cut the scenes down without damaging it. So
true.
It'd have to be reshot, with better dialogue, really.
Yeah.
I thought the leads were good. I really liked the leads. Villains were quite underdeveloped. Which was a little bit of a problem, but it still worked for me. And I thought Gal Gadot was a pretty good version of Wonder Woman. I was quite pleased with her.
Because I watched Batman v Superman not too long ago, just to get myself back up to speed. And she's a far better actor in this than she was in that, because there's bits in that where she's really wooden.
Yeah.
But when she's in Wonder Woman costume, it's great.
Yeah, it's good. And I've seen her in the Fast and Furious series, so it's
Yeah.
kind of she's fairly low key. She hasn't got much of a role in that either, or presence actually, because she's just not given hardly any lines. That's a bit of a problem, but she's there, you know. What would you give this out of? I also think Chris Pine was pretty good in this. What would
Chris
you
Pine
give?
was great.
Actually, the women on the
whole little
islands.
troop were pretty good. Oh yeah, Robin Wright was in this.
Robin Wright was very good, and Connie Nielsen too, as her mother was pretty cool. What would you give this out of 10?
Yeah, I'd give this an 8, but that's subject to like further watches.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I give it an 8, and I want to see it again. I suspect it will get better with watches.
Yeah.
I suspect because you know. I think I'll be happy with the slightly more baggy bits. I thought some of the comedy was really good too. Anyway, let's move on to spoiler territory, right? So that's our general view. It's one to see at the cinema, I'd say.
Yeah.
While it's on. And I was kind of thinking about going to see it again because I did like it, but there's a few films out now that I want to get to, so I probably won't. But I think I will be buying it on Blu-ray. Because I did like it. Okay, so spoilers going up right now. All right, so Gal Gadot's also got quite an accent, but it works in this, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It works.
It was kind of odd because they had to because of her accent, they kind of made all the other actresses have a similar accent.
Yeah.
For the which is weird because it's like Iranian, I think.
What Gal Gadot?
She's Israeli.
Yeah. In fact, she's been in the Israeli army.
Yeah,
she
I know
served,
that. That's why I was like watching this. Like, I don't doubt Gal Gadot could do some of these things.
She did train a lot. She put on quite a bit of muscle to do this, and she's very athletic.
To be fair, a lot of people gave her stick for being as skinny as she was in Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
So
interesting, this one. Not directed by Zack Snyder. There's some Zack Snyder.
Thank God.
Zack Snyder flourishes in it. That look some slow-mo parts specifically.
Yeah.
But actually, I thought it was well done.
It's Zack Snyder when he's kept in his cupboard, pretty much. Well, cupboard's maybe a bad word, but he's kept locked in his area where he's good, not as a director.
And I think it's extremely cool that DC have got a female action hero in her own film. Beat Marvel to it, right?
Yeah.
Unless you count Elektra, maybe.
That's true.
Yeah, I quite like Elektra. I know it gets a lot of shit, but I quite like it. But I like this better. What about Chris Pine?
No, it's DC was like, oh, it's a bit too it's not the right sort of environment for a film about Wonder Woman. And Marvel's like talking raccoons, Ant-Man, and
yeah. It's got an interesting framing device, isn't it? She's in modern day like a curator, isn't she?
Yeah. She's in the Louvre.
That's right. There's some really cool shots of the Louvre in this, actually, right at the beginning. Really cool. She gets this photograph, doesn't she, from World War One of her, and from Wayne Enterprise. And isn't there a note from Bruce Wayne saying, "Hope you like this. Maybe one day you'll tell me your story." Something like that, right?
Which is a bit.
Yeah, but at least it sets up. Bruce Wayne knows where she is and respects her enough not to come talk to her. Right?
Yeah.
He's waiting for her to come talk to him. So we see that she's on this island, Themyscira, which is home of the Amazons, right? So there's these women of all shapes and sizes doing a lot of almost Spartan. They're almost like a Spartan society, aren't they? Lots of training to be warriors. But
they have a prophecy of Ares is going to come back and try and kill everyone, and we all need to be ready for the time when we'll need to fight him.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff setting up that the war, isn't it? Showing you in slow motion again, almost like as a tableau of a picture, but moving slowly of the war with Ares and and how Zeus sort of was.
It's like a big Renaissance mural almost.
Yeah, it's really cool. Really liked it.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Zeus, I think with the last of his powers, produced the God Killer, which is this sword. It appears to be this specific sword, but only the certain warrior can wield it. Right? That's kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Now we see little Diana. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, I'll talk about it later.
We see little Diana, this little girl who watches all these warriors fight, and she starts doing the moves. This little girl really knew her moves. She looked like she did. She was doing the right moves and everything. While she was, certainly martial arts. And essentially, the Queen forbids her to be taught anything, but. There's like her general who's...
Robin Wright.
Yeah, is it Antiope? Robin Wright, Buttercup from Princess Bride, right?
It's weird, there's a trend of like princesses from like films I watched as a kid becoming generals now.
Yeah, she was really good, and so was Connie Nielsen as Hippolyta. I thought they were both... Hippolyta. And I thought all of the characters were well cast and physically correct for what they were sort of given to do. I thought it was kind of cool. But essentially we find out that Antiope trains her in secret because the little girl really wants to be trained. And we kind of get the backstory in the end why that's a problem. But we do then move on to Gal Gadot eventually, being, the princess, Diana. And they're kind of saying we're preparing for this and this, and then suddenly there's a weird, something falls out of the sky. It's a plane, right? And it's Chris Pine.
Yeah.
Oh, she jumps in and rescues, doesn't she?
Yeah. Which I think this is actually, as far as I know, this is pretty much how Wonder Woman did get involved in the outside world.
Yeah, I think it was World War II.
Except it was World War II,
yeah. It's World War II.
She was like a propaganda tool.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad they changed it to World War One for various reasons. World War One gets a little underrepresented. World War II tends to be much more overrepresented.
Yeah, World War II is also pretty much Captain America's territory.
And I was going to say, you're getting into Captain America territory too.
Yeah.
And in fact, the little crew they do involve is a bit reminiscent of what they called the
Howling Commandos.
Howling Commandos, a bit reminiscent of that. So it's best to sidestep that by just saying in a different era. There is, so she's being trained. The Queen's kind of crossed by this, and she says that it'll only make him. It's basically we kind of find out that she's worried that Diana training will make Ares more likely to come across her, right, to find her. And they're trying to avoid that.
For mysterious, unknown reasons at this point in the film.
Yeah, but the general makes the point of, well, she needs to be ready, It's going to happen. She needs to be ready and all this. Anyway, she rescues Chris Pine, whose name's Steve Trevor, right? What do you think of Chris Pine in this?
Chris Pine was really good in this.
He
played the perfect sort of like... Well, he was pretty much just playing Kirk again.
I was going to say, very Kirky, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And in a good way. He's good at this kind of thing. He was a good choice for Kirk. And this guy is... I mean, without it being Kirk, obviously. But it's a similar type. Though he is... he's very morally drawn to do the right thing for the world as well, isn't he? That's his thing. He even when things aren't going his way, he's still going to go and do good. Things. It's interesting he's a spy rather than a soldier. Interesting sort of events. And we find out that he kind of stole this plane, right? When he found out the Germans...
When I was looking at the plane, I was really confused because I was like, that's the Iron Cross.
Yeah, as Iron Cross.
They're going to have, like, Diana on the side of the Germans.
Yeah, a bit worrying. But we found out that he found the Germans were developing... quite horrible
mustard
gases, which they did for sure. Horrible. There was some horrible use of gas, and I think there was some intention to use it in civilian population, which they never got to. They did use it on the battlefield, though. In fact, my great grandpa was gassed, but survived in World War One.
That was great grandpa Fred, wasn't it?
well, Grandpa. Yeah, it was another Grandpa Fred. It was his father.
Yeah. Okay.
But it did make him go
Our
blind.
family's confusing. Both my grandparents are called William.
Yeah.
And I've got two great grandparents, both called Fred. So
Yeah, he did make him go blind in the end, though. And got some lung damage too.
yeah.
But that's the nature of that particular
Gas.
war, that horrible war. So he found that they would. I mean, they injected bad guys that are kind of Nazis.
Yeah, it was a bit.
It's Indiana Jonesy kind of characters, right?
Especially when they walked into like the big castle with the giant red flags, and I was like, "This is Wolfenstein."
Indeed.
Got a mad scientist making like super serum and specialized gas.
Yeah,
like-
and as far as I was aware, the German sort of military in World War One was much more of an old school officer type.
Yeah, they were armchair generals.
Yeah, kind of. They were real soldiers too, but they
both sides were pretty much armchair generals.
They're a different level of morality, more grounded in a previous age. Let's put it that way. Before, modern military warfare had really taken hold. I mean, the first one that was you could consider modern military warfare is probably the American Civil War, I'd say.
Yeah.
But World War One was much more industrially military, right? Anyway, he crashes. But he was trying to get away, and what happens is these Germans are pursuing him. Obviously, when he crashes on the island, he doesn't come out of the sky. He comes through some sort of protective shield, doesn't he?
Yeah, the island is protected from the outside world by
it appears to be a
various
cloud
means.
bank, right? It appears to be a cloud bank.
It's basically Skull Island.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, there's like mythical creatures that live on it too.
Okay,
if I'm remembering correctly.
You have to be careful because it gets a bit Flash Gordon if you go too far that way, right? And the Germans are pursuing him, and they realise there's this island there. One of them actually physically he sticks his head. It's a fog, and suddenly he realises it's in bright daylight, and he can see this island. So there's this like barrier, and they all kind of row through. And interestingly, an entire battleship comes in as well. But we never see that, do we? Oh, did it sink?
Well, it came through and it was like kind of keening to one side.
It did look a bit odd.
So I was just like, well, guess it sank. So.
I got a feeling we might see that a bit more action around that in a director's version, because I had a feeling there was some way that got sunk by the women, though it wasn't obvious that they had the ability to do that because they were using bows and arrows.
They need to like properly invoke magic in this.
Yeah, yes.
If I remember correctly, there's like a bunch of the Amazons are like
demigods.
Heroes.
They're demigods, heroes at least, right? Yeah.
No, like in DC, they are like heroes. Like Artemis is a thing, and
okay,
yeah. But if I can remember correctly, this is probably like me being bad form because I'm thinking of stuff I don't know to begin with.
Okay.
But yeah, if I remember correctly, they have associations with Atlantis. So
yeah, maybe. Well, that might develop with Aquaman, right?
Yeah, true. Well, not getting Aquaman first, we're getting Justice League.
Yeah, but eventually, right? We get our first big action set piece, which is the German soldiers fighting the Amazons.
That's a pretty kick-ass set piece.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff in it. Really, the action was coherent. You knew what was going on. There were some really badass things. Both the Queen and Antiope were pretty badass. She was like jumping in the air and firing 3 arrows at once. This, that, and the other. Chris Pine was obviously fighting on their side. Trying to help, but it was kind of difficult, wasn't it? It was like guns against bows and arrows. It was that kind of thing. And there was some kick-ass. It was kind of cool to see these female warriors in action and without them looking stupid or CGI.
Yeah,
it was kind of cool. It was like 300-y, but more not quite as stylized.
Yeah,
much more.
More shots.
That's them fighting on a brightly lit beach. soldiers that have got guns, kind of stuff, right? So yeah, that was cool. But unfortunately, Antiope dies, right?
Yeah, she gets shot.
And they kind of get a bit traumatised by this. I mean, some of them are even talking about killing Chris Pine, right? Even though he was fighting on their side.
He bought the evil of man.
And he's wearing the same colours as the men that they had to fight.
Yeah.
And he explains why he's wearing their colours and what happened. They got the lasso of truth on him, so they know he's telling the truth.
Well, yeah, it's the lasso of truth, but they call it like the lasso of Hecate or something like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting this. It doesn't just make them tell the truth, it kind of burns them if they don't tell the truth. So it's slightly different from the usual Wonder Woman vibe. It usually just tells the truth. Did you know that the creator of Wonder Woman...
I know where you're going with this. Yes, I do.
He created the lie detector. Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting tie up there. So he's talking about World War I's well underway. This is set in 1918, by the way, so last year of this war. He's an Allied spy, and he's basically says he's got this notebook of this scientist, Nazi scientist, who we see as this woman with like a plastic part of her face, like the Phantom of the Opera.
Now, Dr. Poison in the comics was like, because it was World War II, he was like a Japanese.
Well, that couldn't work in World War I. Yeah, and this is bizarrely a Spanish chemist. And they're trying to create a mustard gas that works through gas masks, right?
It's a brutal, like, testing scene.
Yeah, they try and test this guy, but he kind of survives, even though he's kind of shaking, and they just rip the mask off him.
Yeah, she like sighs, pulls a rope, and the mask just gets yanked off his face.
Yeah, really brutal. But we see they're trying to develop a gas that actually almost disintegrates the masks.
Yeah.
Right? Rather
it causes the glass on the eyes to, like, break open, so...
Now, because of the Amazon stuff, they believe this war is ultimately caused by Ares rather than just men fighting, right? So Diana...
Part of that prophecy I mentioned beforehand is Ares will bring the war to end all wars.
Yes. That's what this was called. And there's some stuff here where Chris Pine's bathing, and Diana comes in and says, "Are you average for a man?" And he says, "But above average." There's a bit of comedy stuff for that. And she decides...
It's like, what's that?
Yeah.
Oh, you watch.
Yeah. What's that? And he's like, there's a bit of comedy stuff.
What's weird is they like make a joke like that, and then they try to get weirdly symbolic with it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this like can tell me like when to wake up, it tells me stuff, but like the time to do things. It's like, oh, you let a little item like that to determine how you live your life. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's a penis joke. Right? So she decides she's going to go back with him to this world and help fight, because she's after Ares, so she steals the sword, doesn't she? Cool scene.
Oh, we haven't mentioned the sword. There's a sword called God Killer.
I did mention it. I did. Very briefly. This God Killer. That's
the thing Zeus supposedly gave the Amazons.
Yeah. And they kind of say, don't they say okay, but you might never be able to return if you go.
She can't. She straight can't return.
Okay, it was a bit ambiguous in the film. It was, I'm pretty sure she says you might never be able to return. Like saying, you might, but you might not.
You will never be able to return.
Okay. She basically wants him to take her to the centre of the war. And he kind of... They kind of get on a ship.
And it's kind of funny because she's fairly naive about this, and she keeps going, "Take me to Ares."
Yeah.
When he keeps saying, "We have no idea where Ares is if he's here."
This is it gets a bit fish out of water, doesn't it? I mean, intentionally, and it kind of works well with this woman because she's not familiar with this world at all. She just wants to go to the and she's a warrior too, so there's no messing about here or subterfuge. It is funny that they get in a boat, leave the island, and the next minute they're kind of in London.
Yeah.
But they do say something like, "I hitched a ride."
There was a ship nearby, so we just like tied ourselves onto it. So.
Reminded me a bit of Indiana Jones when he gets on the submarine. Reminded me of that a bit. Anyway, they rock up and he tries to explain, I've got to deliver this, then I'll take you to the war and all this.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. And he's got a secretary who's
Etta
by
Candy.
Lucy Davis, Etta. Helps her pick new clothes. So we get one of those where she's looking
So she's
for
not
a
walking
dress,
around in like a leotard.
and she's
pretty much.
she's going, how do you fight in these? And it's interesting, there's a bit of a backdrop of the suffragettes as well,
Yeah.
right? Which is an interesting kind of connection
Yeah.
too. Anyway, he goes and sees what's going on. They get to witness these men discussing the war, like politicians or something discussing
Well,
the war.
there's like one discussing armistice, and the rest are sort of like laughing at the notion.
Yeah, and they get horrified that she's in there because she's a woman, and their brains aren't suited for it.
That was like a really weird scene.
It
It's
was
like,
a bit
are
odd.
you trying to say like guys can't focus with a woman about, or
Yeah,
what were you trying to go for here? They were just stunned that a woman was in the
shocked.
like the.
Well, women wouldn't have been involved in this kind of decision making because there wasn't women MPs.
No, but it wasn't even that she got in. I'm talking about the. I think it was like Parliament almost.
Yeah, it was almost, but it was more like law rooms or something. I couldn't
Yeah.
make out what it was supposed to be. It was a
It
meeting
wasn't even
room.
she
right?
got involved. She was just like she
was
walked
just
in.
there.
She was like stood off to the side, and they all stopped and looked at her. I was like, "Where are you going with this?"
And
Then
she
they-
actually gets really annoyed because she said, "Why aren't they? He's the only one talking peace. Why aren't they listening to him?" She doesn't get what the issue is. What
Yeah.
makes sense. Anyway, they kind of and let Sir Patrick know what's going on. He says, "Look, we got
Sir
to make."
Patrick's the guy arguing for the armistice.
Yeah, and it's played by David Thewlis, good actor.
Yeah.
Probably for younger viewers, probably best known
Professor
as
Lupin.
Professor Lupin from Harry Potter. But this actor's been around for ages. He's a great actor. So he kind of says, "Look, we have to do everything to support the armistice. However, I feel that you."
Gas won't help that. So,
So
here's
he
the way
gives
to
them
get
money,
to
doesn't he? He
gas.
does some money.
Yeah,
to
he gives them a lot of money so they can hire help.
Yeah, so they go back across the channel, get to Belgium,
They
and
get
then sorry, go on.
Ewan Bremer, Spud from
Yeah,
Trainspotting.
as like
As a sniper.
sniper, but he's a drinker and he's got a bit of PTSD or something.
Yeah.
Um,
And, I can't even pronounce this.
Samir, there's Samir, the
Samir, who's like
master of disguises, he reckons.
who's played by Saeed. I'm sounding really like piece of shit. Like Saeed Tagmawi.
Tagmawi. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't
We
pronounce that.
apologise if we get that wrong.
Yeah.
And then there's a Native American.
Yeah, Eugene, which I think is supposed to be Apache Chief from the old Super Friends show.
Oh, okay, cool. He's more a gopher, right? He can get things.
Yeah, he's like an arms trader, pretty much.
So he can get him across lines and stuff because everyone kind of knows him. I think was the impression I got. So they go on and they get caught in trench warfare, right?
Yeah,
And Diana's kind of, why are we here?
yeah.
And he's trying to explain, look, these men have been here a year. On the other side, that side of the
same way.
trenches,
So-
and they got machine guns pointed at every inch of this point. So if anyone shows their head, they're going to die. And we just have to stay here. And she's like, nah, I'm not. Yeah, as she goes out onto the no man's land, she's just walking across it, and the Germans are like, and they just start shooting, and she starts deflecting it with her bracelets.
She starts doing the Wonder Woman thing. So.
Yeah, I kind of like how she does not mess about. Bad guys just die,
Yeah.
which is kind of refreshing. That tends to be a
I
big
do like
thing
that she
about-
had weapons, because normally, like, I don't know how it is like recently, but how it used to be was it was just Wonder Woman and she had a lasso. That was it. Now she like tends to use a sword and shield.
Sword and shield, and she's got her bracelets and leg protecting boots, right?
She has big armored thigh highs, pretty much.
Yeah, and basically they start shooting straight at her, but she's kind of using the shield and the bracelets to deflect things. And
she starts off using just the braces, but then they like pull out a machine gun, so she
so she has to crouch behind her shield, right? It's deflecting everything. Really like this. Again, another set piece, right? Really good set pieces. I think this might have been my favourite set piece in this film. Really cool. She it's got a good 5 minutes, and what it does is the men, in the trench realise what she's doing and realise it's their chance to get
She's
somewhere.
basically distracting everyone.
Doesn't she also realise that is it the village is starving, or they might be torturing them? Or something.
I don't remember that.
Well, she's concerned about the villagers on the other side of the lines too, right? So that's one of the reasons she does it. She acts so quickly. She
is a really funny bit because she's walking around in like these big heavy coats for most of it.
Yeah, and
then we get the reveal of the outfit, and she takes her big this hat off and undoes her hair. Drops the first coat, and it does like this big sweeping pan around, and you can just see soldiers sort of go, ooh. She starts like undressing pretty much.
Yeah, and it is funny that kind of happened in London when she's walking around in the car and the soldiers going, hello, miss.
Her hands on her hips and like unveiled everything.
Yeah.
Steve Trevor's just like, no.
You can't walk around like that. So she basically gets through enemy lines, takes out the Germans with the men following her and sort of mopping up as well. She liberates his village, so like there's that sort of celebration kind of.
This is the sequence I mentioned it earlier where I said I don't doubt Gal Gadot can do half these things. This is where she really kind of shows that, because she's like jumping about, kicking people in the head.
Yeah.
Including a great bit where she jumps like 10 feet across a room to boot a guy out a window.
Yeah, that was awesome. Again, there was some slow-mo stuff, which was very Zack Snyder, but, I like 300. I think it's a great film.
That's good, Zack Snyder.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed this, and I think she looked really good in the part. I also liked her acting, actually. Her getting angry when things weren't... She didn't understand why men wouldn't do the right thing. The politicians.
See, it was okay, but then there's points where it's just like, now you're being pig-headed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this will just actively hurt whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah. But I think I was fine with that, because it was like fish out of water stuff. Right, she doesn't understand.
But even when she got explained it, she just refused to listen and then went on ahead.
Yeah. At this point, we get the photo done. That is the framing device, right?
Yeah.
She actually gets the photo in the village of the little troop of men with Steve Trevor and stuff. They don't they kiss a bit later as well? Isn't she carrying on about?
Well, they kiss and then there's a zoom out and it's like, okay, we know what they did. So
there's also, I've forgotten to mention, when they left the island, there was this like weird little scene where he's sleeping on something else. She goes, "Why didn't you come sleep here?" And stuff like that. And isn't there stuff where she goes, "Oh, men for pleasure"? No, we don't need men for pleasure. Which is like, what are they saying? I'm not quite.
Yeah, it's like. That's another thing where it's like, what are you trying to say here?
They find out that. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned there's a bad guy who's called Ludendorff, who's like this Nazi-esque guy who's behind, helping Dr. Poison develop stuff. But one of the weaknesses in this was the bad guys weren't that well developed. They were very cursory, right? I
mean, I actually kind of enjoyed Ludendorff and Dr. Poison because they were just like completely unabashed, like cartoon villains.
Yeah,
I could enjoy that. The actual villain wasn't too great, though. I think so.
But at one point, the Doctor deliberately kind of does something to Ludendorff that makes him kind of supercharged.
Yeah, she gives him like a steroid. He's like got these little vials that he snaps and like snorts whatever's in them, and he gets superpowers briefly.
Yeah, but it's not his choice to take it at first, is it? She just gives it to him, but it seems to work for him.
Yeah.
So there's that too, and his face kind of lights up, doesn't it? Or
Yeah.
changes. Anyway. So Ludendorff's at this castle. She goes and to find him, right? And also Steve goes.
Well,
I'm trying to remember now.
they make a whole plan to get in and have Steve, like, find out where everything is so they can sort out this.
Oh, yeah, he's dressed up, right? He's managed to find a German outfit. They make a plot point of this. He goes, not only have I got to do this, I've got to find a proper German outfit to infiltrate this castle, as like the way of telling it. So when you see it, you don't think, where the hell did he get that? It's like, he's saying, I've got to do this and this, and I've got to get a proper German outfit.
Yeah.
And his job is to just look, right, and see what's happening. And he stresses
and
that.
briefly flirt with Dr. Poison.
Yeah, he does as well. Yeah, I forgot about that. And she kind of sees through it, right?
No, she doesn't see through it. It's Diana walks in, and then suddenly Super Spy Steve Trevor, his tongue like swells up.
She gets a bit annoyed, right?
Yeah.
So there's they find out that this isn't here where it's actually a demo, and he decides to poison gas the village.
Yeah.
Is that this bit? And they find out it's doing this. They're trying to stop it, but they don't. So she goes back to the village, but realises everyone's dead. And doesn't Steve follow as well?
Yeah. Steve follows her, and she gets angry at him for delaying.
Yeah, if you just... Oh, no, he stops her
He stops her, drawing a sword in the middle of a party.
Yeah, that's right. But she's really cross because she thought she could have just killed Ares at this point.
Yeah.
Because she's convinced Ludendorff's Ares, isn't she? And basically, whenever she talks about Ares, he kind of just... goes along with it, doesn't he? In a sort of entertains the idea, even though he knows it's not true, or he thinks it's not true. So then we find out there's a bomber full of gas, and also it's heading for London.
Like a specialised bomber that, if it bombs this 50 square miles...
So it's going to kill everyone in London at this point.
It'll kill everyone in London and a good chunk of Middle England.
Yeah, we should have mentioned that Ludendorff... All of these Germans around him are trying to arrange the armistice, and Ludendorff's kind of disgusted.
Ludendorff gasses them, so...
Yeah, he's kind of disgusted by the idea of surrendering when it could be the greatest victory for the German
this
army.
is actually a bit where it's this is where I like them being cartoonishly evil, because they're they gas the room, and then Ludendorff chucks a gas mask in out of nowhere.
It says...
The Poison turns to him and is but the gas mask won't work. And he's like, they won't know that.
Yeah,
and
because
they
all
both
fighting
start
over
laughing.
Yeah. Then they meet up with Sir Patrick, and we find out, actually, that it's him that's Ares, right?
Which is...
I saw that coming. I definitely saw that coming. I didn't think it was Ludendorff, because we would have got a visual clue that it was Ludendorff whenever Ludendorff was on, right? So I
knew it was him because they were like, David Thewlis is playing Ares.
Oh, well, that gives it. I didn't know that, but I had worked it out pretty early on that, it must be him, because he's involved in the war and he's helping them, but it's a bit shady. And he also... Then we get this idea that Ares is behind the war by, whispering in people's ears in a sort of psychic way, right?
Yeah. And this is where it really hit furthest point from the comics.
Right.
Because Ares in the comics is fueled by war.
Right.
He doesn't want to kill everyone. He wants to keep war going perpetually so he maintains his power.
Right.
So him doing that, he's got to the point where he's actively called off his plans to do stuff because it might destroy the world
or end the war, right?
Yeah, or end wars. So.
Okay. But we do find out that he's Ares, and I think at this point it becomes clear that Diana is is a demigod. She's the offspring of Zeus and her mother.
Shock and horror. The last thing Zeus did is bang someone.
Yeah, and that was his magic thing, right? And so she's the half sister of Ares. They're both. Well, no, he's a full god.
He's a full god. Well, depending on where you look.
He destroys her sword, which she thinks is the god killer, but we find out actually it wasn't the sword that's the god killer. She's the Godzilla. God killer. I was close. Yeah. So there is that. So Ares kind of tries, come to my. It's the old "come join me, Obi-Wan," right? It's all that.
Luke.
The world's inherently a bad place, so why don't you help me to kind of do this to it? I did mention Steve actually gets on the plane, right?
Yeah, Steve Trevor gets on the plane after he gives Wonder Woman his watch.
Yeah, and he goes up with a flare gun. We see a flare gun.
Yeah, he takes a flare up, and because the gas is flammable, which surely would solve itself pretty quickly in London.
Yeah.
But it's flammable, so he lights the flare up and it blows up the plane.
Yeah, but we don't actually see him die, right? So there's a chance he's alive.
Yeah, I mean,
but having
he's
said
technically come back from non-existence in the comics, but
yeah, but we don't see a trace of him, and of course we got this framing device of 100 years later. Yeah, as well. I forgot we skipped past quite a sweet touch. There was quite a sweet touch where the sniper guy, Charlie, is it, can't shoot. He has a problem shooting, and he feels he's useless and he's not there. But he sings, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And Diana actually says to him, "Charlie, you can't go. You can't leave us. For who? If you left, who would we have to sing?" And he kind of it perks him up right up, doesn't it? Which I thought was a nice little touch.
Well, I like he was immediately like, "Sing," and the other three were like, "Oh no."
But it's a
you
nice
can tell
touch.
they're like a proper group of friends.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice touch about comradeship, right?
Yeah.
You don't leave anyone behind, even if they're not doing anything. It's best to encourage people, right?
Yeah.
So, also there's a big fight with various German soldiers, right? As well as Ares, isn't there? Doesn't there a bit where he says he tries to get her to kill Dr. Poison?
Yeah, and that's where her
doesn't she pick up a
mask
tank?
comes off.
Oh yeah.
Diana picks up like a tank or some sort of armored vehicle.
Yeah, so
it's like about to squish up with it.
This is the first time we see she's super strong, right?
Well, I mean, she still jumps and kicks the top off a church at one point. But...
Yeah, okay, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, they do the old shield trick.
I say that it's like she jumps into a church and then it explodes.
Yeah, to chase a sniper down.
Yeah,
they think the villagers think she's dead, but she's actually there, and they're like, "Wow, yeah." All that. Do you think that's because Steve sort of sacrificed himself? She kind of understands.
Yeah, maybe she's
people don't have to die sometimes.
Responsibility. So
yeah, but then she continues fighting Ares, right? So it's
it's not good.
Yeah, it's got that CG fighting end, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Not as good as the.
It's just stuff flying at stuff. And
similar ending to Batman vs Superman in that sense, and X-Men Apocalypse, and Suicide Squad. It's a bit problematic, these kind of endings. The only ones I thought did it. Of the modern films that kind of finished this way, that was a little bit different and kind of cool, was Doctor Strange, actually. That was, I mean, not much better, but a little. And then we're going back to present day.
Here's what I think. Even, everyone gives Transformers, problems for how it does its fights. Yeah. You can't tell what's going on.
Yeah.
But I would argue that Transformers was easier to follow than the whole fight with Ares, because in the Transformers they've got colours. They each.
Well, no, they didn't in the first few films.
Yeah, well, the Autobots had colours.
Well,
so
okay, I couldn't tell
the important characters had colours.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But in this, because they were like backlit by loads of fire, what it turned into was silhouettes with silhouettes fighting another silhouette.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I thought the earlier action set pieces were way better, more interesting. But that's how it is. And then it ends with the framing device, doesn't it? Of her in modern day getting him. I think she thanked Bruce Wayne for the picture, right?
Yeah, she's dropped him an email.
Yeah. So, did you like the music during the film?
I like. Here's the thing: they use the same theme.
Yeah, like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that. But I liked it back in Batman vs Superman. But I've just heard it so often in the trailers that it started to wear on me.
Yeah, I didn't watch the trailers.
Yeah.
I think they used it reasonably sparingly in the film, and it was about the right level.
It is, if I remember correctly, is done by Junkie XL.
Oh, okay. Right.
Who are the guys who did Mad Max. So.
Oh, okay, cool. So that was it. How do you think it compares with the rest of the most recent? Well, we'll cut out the Dark Knight trilogy, right? So we've got We got Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, and this. Is that right?
Yeah.
How's it compared to those?
It's far and away the best of the lot.
It is the best of the lot of these so far.
Superman's... Well, Man of Steel is next. Then Batman vs Superman, and then Suicide Squad.
No, I like Suicide Squad way better than Batman vs Superman. I just like the Joker stuff. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's weird, although having said that, it's still quite a weak film, structurally weak, and there's all sorts of problems with it plotting wise. But no, this is a head and shoulders. I think this is pretty good. Rather enjoyed this, and I think I want to see it again. I can't quite tell if it's. I'm not going to say if it's a classic, because no, it isn't a classic. But it's
it's going to be remembered as Wonder Woman's first film, no matter what.
Yeah, this is a good opening for Wonder Woman, I think.
Although, if you want to see a good Wonder Woman film, I would suggest the animated Wonder Woman film.
Okay, that's worth knowing.
That was released 2009, I think.
Okay,
because that got properly into the gore. I think if I remember correctly, it ends with Wonder Woman beheading the villain. So,
whoa, that's dark.
Yeah. She does it in front of the Capitol building as well. So,
one of the things I put in my letterbox review of this is that I opened a letterbox review of this. Right, I said a decent, rationally plotted, and emotionally adept movie from the new DC universe about time chaps. And it works as a proper film. Not a sketch,
my friends came out of the film feeling like they finally got one right.
Yeah. Thank goodness. And I think, hopefully, they think, well, okay, Zack Snyder wasn't that heavily involved and Christopher Nolan wasn't involved.
Yeah.
It kind of works as a serious film, and it's not too close to the Marvel way of doing things.
It's doing the Marvel sort of thing, where it's like, okay, here's the baseline story for the overarching universe. Here's where you can put your story. Go nuts.
Yeah. I think this main weakness. I think some of the weaknesses were the villains could have been a bit better fleshed out.
Yeah,
though they worked fine. I agree. The finale with Ares was kind of at that. Oh, it's a CGI battle.
Yeah,
kind of thing. And I also thought some of the character developing stuff was way too baggy. A better writer would have got the same stuff across much more punchy way.
Yeah.
And it was a bit slow in places. That was fine, it's fine. Just a little baggy. You could have got all of the same stuff in 10 minutes less, I think, overall.
Okay.
But pretty good. I'd say quite a fine film, actually. Well, so, you want to see it again sometime?
I think I'd need to see it again.
So do I, I think so.
Just to make a proper opinion, because I walked out a bit. Because I watched Batman vs Superman not too long ago, and that brought my mood down a lot. So I'm not sure if I was I enjoyed it because it was a good DC film or because it was a good film.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good film. I think it's a pretty solid film.
Yeah.
Personally. Okay, what would you give it out of 10?
I give it an 8.
I'll give it an 8.2. 8.2. And it's possible the score might even go up a little on some rewatches. I don't think it's going to go down, though. I think I'm pretty happy with the film as coherent. Though I have to say I have trouble remembering certain of the action set piece scenes. Maybe there was a few scenes with Chris Pine and Gal Gadot that worked very well, and I thought Gal Gadot did a good. I have to say again, I thought Gal Gadot did a really good job here as Wonder Woman. I was really quite happy with her in this character. It worked well for me. When I saw her before, she looked a bit too slight, and I thought, but no, she was fine in this. Her athleticism kind of
showed.
It really showed. And I thought Chris Pine was actually pretty damn good in this. Very quirky, but it really worked well with this character because he wasn't just like Kirk's. Hey, it was a bit of that, but he was cocky, but he was also quite serious about wanting to help the war effort. And I thought that worked well in this character. So it was a good. He had a good moral compass, right?
He kind of used not her naivety, but he when he wanted to prove a point, he'd like grab the lasso of truth and pretty much wrap it around his wrist. It's like I'm taking you to the front lines.
Yeah,
and it's like it got to the point where it's like just use the lasso again.
Yeah,
because they'd like argue because they always need to argue at some point in the film to make conflict, even though there's a world war going on around them.
Yeah,
but
I would have liked the crew to have been used a bit more.
Yeah,
with their skills or whatever.
Like I said, well, they like had the sniper thing come out. It's like, oh, this character is a good sniper, but you can't really shoot because of the trauma. And then they didn't really wrap that up.
We needed to have him use his skills once.
Yeah.
To save people, right? That's all it needed.
Doesn't even have to have been kill the guy.
And
it could just be like Samir got to do something. He was he helped him sneak into the.
Oh yeah, I've forgotten that. The driver, right? Yeah, he was. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, and I liked some of that. Yeah, it was cool. I liked it. It did borrow from other films. There was a touch of the Indiana Jones and a touch of the Captain Americas and stuff like that. But overall, I really quite like this one. So, recommend from me. Anyway, let's wind up there. Man, we've been talking a lot today. Yeah. So, good one there. Go see it. I'm not sure what we'll be doing next, but there's quite a few good films coming out soon. So, we'll be doing something cool. So, bye from me.
Bye.
All the world is waiting for you and the power you possess.